Alright guys, welcome back to another video here on the John Doc YouTube channel. I want to wish you guys a happy Monday. When you guys will be watching this video, it'll be noontime on Monday. So starting off the week right, power through it, get some work done, knock it out, stay positive. It's going to be a great week. So as you guys know here, LS Nasty, we love our G-bodies. We've got the Black Sheep right here behind us, which is a true Grand National. A lot of people are a little upset that it's a true Grand National, that someone decided to cut it up. Now, we didn't cut this car up and put the cage in it. We bought the car. It was already the 25.3, so someone did the sin, not us. We just own it. We just make it fast. But someone decided to take a super rare Grand National. Everybody knows the Grand National guys. I mean, Grand Nationals are rare. There's not a lot of them. And someone decided to cut this up and make it a race car. And I want to thank them for that because it's an awesome race car. But I know a lot of you guys are a little fired up about that. So we're going to show you a car that we've been working on. It's kind of been sitting in the background a little bit. We haven't been doing too much stuff on it. It's actually my good buddy Wes. It's his car. Now, he had another G-body. He had a 86 Cutlass, I believe it was, and now he's got I think it's an 86 as well, Monte Carlo Super Sport. As you can see, it was previously a LS swapped G-body street race car up north. It was a very, I guess, well-known no prep car. Since then, they've wrapped it, and Wes has been working on it for probably about 6 months. And he's got the motor set in there, and now we are about to, I'd say we're on the home stretch. Final fab work's getting done. Fuel tank's already mounted. He's got to wire it. He's got to plumb it. He's already got his seats in it, and then he's ready to go. So he's already got a power glide in there with a PTC converter. It's actually the old PTC converter out the cow, so it's a very good converter. And the engine combination is started off as an iron 6-liter, so an iron 6.0 with, I think it's got some 317 heads, don't quote me on that, but it's Texas speed rotating assembly just like the cow, and everybody knows the cow flies. So it's a 4-inch stroke crank, set of HB rods and a Wiseco piston. It's bored out to the 408, so everyone can, at the car shows, be like, it's a 408 stroker, you know, because everybody just loves to have like the 383 and the 408s and the 416s, or like you gotta let everyone know it's got a stroker in it. So what that means is it's really just got a 4-inch stroke crank. Like I don't even know the stroke of the standard crank, but 4-inch stroke is slightly bigger. So we got that set in there, and it is set up to run on alcohol. So as far as whether he's going to put a radiator on it or not, I'm not sure of that yet. I know just to get the car running, you don't need to. Alcohol burns so cool and keeps the engine temp down. You don't really have to worry about it for what we're doing. Now, driving on the street, that's a whole nother story. So let's take a look at it. Let's see what progress is done to it, and I'll talk to you guys what else is going to get done this week on it, because it's going to make big strides this week. All right, here it is. I think since you guys saw it last, you guys have obviously seen it in the background of many videos, but we haven't talked about it. So it is a full frame car. It's got a 10-point cage in it. It's got TRZ uppers and lowers. It's got a 12-bolt in there with adjustable upper and lower control arms in the rear. It's got Viking shocks all around, so it's got good adjustability. The thing I love about these TRZ upper and lowers is they have a travel limiter built into them. So you literally just run that bolt down, and that's going to limit how much travel you have. Obviously, right there is quite a bit of travel, so we'll probably tighten that up before we send Wes down track. They are very nice. These are the exact same upper and lower control arms we run on the Black Sheep as we are true stock suspension up there. One big upgrade that is really kind of hidden on this is the manual rack kit. That's a TRZ manual rack as well, so this is the whole kit that comes from them. It's the manual rack, and it's got all the mounting points for it, but I will say, if you are going to do this to your G-body, be prepared to do some work. The manual steering rack kit is a lot of fabrication, a lot of cutting. They come with the mounts, but you do have to cut the mount like flush to the, I guess what you call the front. I mean, it's not really a K-member, but I mean, I don't even know what you call it, the frame. I mean, really, it is just the frame at that point. And you got to cut holes through it. If you guys come over here, you'll see the steering shaft comes up through the frame, and then it's got a little support right there. A lot of guys complain that I know the factory gearboxes on these are not desirable. A lot of, you can turn the wheel like 6 times around, but a lot of guys swap them over to an S10 gearbox, which is a little better. This is by far the best. This is definitely a lot more race. You lose some steering, some turning radius, but down track feels a whole lot better. So that's one big upgrade that's on there. As you guys can see, he's pretty much got his front accessory drive all buttoned up. He's got his fuel pump right here. So Wes is going mechanical fuel pump, and that's how it will be. So very simple. It's got a little air motive pump. The one thing I do like about running a mechanical pump and running alcohol up front is your fuel lines are very small and everything's compact. You don't have to worry about running fuel lines to the back of a car. Once you do one setup like this, you kind of get pampered and you don't really want to mess with putting them in the back. So very simple up front. He's got one of the small ATI balancers on it. He's got an alternator and a fuel pump. Super simple. A lot of room for activities. Now, the only thing he will need, because he's on alcohol, is a radiator if he decides to. No intercooler, so he'll have plenty of room. And that brings us to the big part of today's video, is the fabrication side of it. So as you can see, he's already got his twin turbos mounted off of a set of Flowtech forward-facing headers. So these are made by Holley. These are absolutely awesome. We run these on the Black Sheep, Silverback Z06. Salted Chicken's going to have them. You cannot beat the bang for the buck. They already come with V-bands. We just switched the actual V-bands that are on themselves. I think these are the wrong ones, because we'll get the right ones for Wes. We'll get them taken care of. But as you can see, very simple, very compact hot side. Jason Brazzel is going to be doing the fabrication on this, and I already spoke with him. He's going to be here tomorrow to knock it out. So in tomorrow's video or the following day's video, you'll be able to look at it and you'll be able to see the progress. Hot side, the only thing that needs to be done is a wastegate needs to be mounted. So I know a lot of people would think, oh, just put it right here, but I think Jason's going to drill into the hot side of the turbo itself, and you cut a big hole, you weld it right on there. It's a very good place to put it. It's very easy to regulate turbine speed and boost. So I know a lot of guys do it. Keith over at Holley, if you guys check out his stuff, I think it's like Hood Rat Hot Rods is what it is. He has a single turbo single turbo Malibu. And he's got his turbo sitting up here. It's a street car, and he put the wastegate right on the hot side. It looks sweet. I think it's a little bit more work because you do have to do some tricks to, I mean, first you got to cut a hole in this hot side, which is some tough shit, and then you have to heat it up to then weld on it. But he did a great job, so go check out his build. Wes is going to have one coming out here and one coming out here from what we talked about, and then we'll be able to dump them right out here along with the exhaust. So keep everything compact, everything up here. These holes were already drilled and already opened up, so I mean there's no point to cover them up. Now if it was me, you know, I'd put it out the hood, but you guys flame me for that, so Wes isn't going to. Wes is going to have them coming out the fenders. So hot side, very close to completion. Cold side, again, very simple. All we need to do is just wire it together and go right here and put the blow-off valve on it. As far as BPF, Jason Brazzel knocked this out in a second. This is light work for him. I got him doing a bunch of other stuff, like setting the motor plate up in this and getting the motor all squared away in Squidbilly here, and also doing some work on the Bad Apple. As you guys can see, we got a bunch of cars just tore down, so it's time to start putting them back together. So Wes's car here is coming along very nicely. I know a lot of people have been following this build because he bought this car as a roller, and I know a bunch of people that are watching these videos here are building cars at home themselves, and this one is a great learner. He got all of his, you know, brackets and everything right off of like the G-body forms. So I mean, you're able to go on there, and he got your, I think they're Dirty Dingo mounts, and everything bolts right up. He's got a mid plate in there for the transmission that came with the car, so that is good as well. And the car came with a Power Glide transmission mount, so it made it pretty easy on him there. Other than that, car's very, very close to completion. He's got his 2 Kirky seats in there. He's actually switching over from a Holley Terminator to a Holley HP. And this is something I did want to speak about. Is I love all the Holley stuff. I run all the Holley stuff. I've never had any issues with it. It runs great, and they are perfect for the different applications. I run the Terminator on Charlie Murphy, and Eddie Murphy's got the Terminator on it itself. It's literally $1,000, comes with ECU, wiring harness, and a little 3-inch touchscreen. If you are thinking about doing an LS swap, just like a generic LS swap, I highly recommend it because it's got what they call the wizard on there. You can punch in the parameters, it'll ask you like what you want for base timing. You can Google it, and Google will answer that. You put that in there, and it'll literally tune itself as long as you got the O2 in the correct spot. You guys have seen what happens when you put the O2 in the incorrect spot. You have to do all the tuning yourself. Any simple stuff, any turbo stuff, I highly recommend the Terminator if you're going to be on E85 or pump gas. When you go over to methanol, I recommend going to an HP or a Dominator. The wideband is very important, and you have to run an NTK wideband. It's like $400, and that is what you need to run on alcohol. It is what will read that very, very low air fuel, that 3.2, that 2.9, that 4.0 that you need. The widebands that come with the Terminator system, they come right with it, they don't read low enough. Essentially would be losing that self-learn feature, you'd be losing that self-correction feature, and to me, that's what makes them so good. The Holley stuff learns so fast and corrects so fast. It's like, for me, it saves my ass because I like to tear a bunch of shit up. So if you are going to alcohol, I do want to let you know, I don't want to misinform anyone. Wes was going to go on alcohol and just have a separate wideband on there and just do the tuning, but after we sat down, we talked, said, hey, it might be better off just to set it up so it will be able to self-correct if you ever do have any issues, and that's the route that he's going. So he's switching over to an HP. Slightly more expensive, but on this, I think it's going to work a little bit better. Before I found out that you couldn't run that O2 with alcohol, I was all about it, but you could do it without it. I'm just saying, for me, I need someone watching my back. It's all I need. That's all we got going on this build here. Very close to completion. I would say within the next month or so, I'd like to see the car fired up. Now, obviously, I'm not building it. That's Wes's deal, but he's getting very, very close, and he's been chipping away at it. So if you don't follow Wes already, go follow his Instagram. It's G-Body-Wes. Of course, just a typical G-Body guy. Just got to let everybody know he's got a G-Body. But follow him. He's my boy. It's going to be an awesome little build, and it's going to be fun to see this thing at the track. We're going to put it on the bumper. We're going to make him shit his pants, and we're going to have a bunch of fun. So I do want to thank you guys so much for watching. Like always, comment, like, subscribe. I got an action-packed video coming for you tomorrow and the following day, so be sure to check that out, and we'll see you guys in tomorrow's upload.